Leon stood frozen behind the tree line. His heart slammed against his ribs. His breath was shallow. He was miles off any marked trail, staring at something that wasn't supposed to exist. A hidden cabin, armed men, and under a gray tarp, evidence of a crime the entire country was searching for. It started with a glitch, a simple beam of light his eyes couldn't see, but his camera could. What began as a sunrise photo shoot was about to become a crime scene. What exactly did Leon's camera capture? And why was it invisible to the naked eye? Let's get into it. Leon wasn't just a photographer. He was a hunter of light. He chased what professionals call the golden hour, that fragile window just after sunrise when the world glows like it's been dipped in honey. Most people sleep through it. Leon built his life around it. On this particular morning, he had hiked higher than usual, past the popular trails, past the tourist overlooks, into a stretch of wilderness most maps left blank. The air was thin, the valleys below were buried in mist, and the silence was absolute. He dropped his pack onto a mossy log, assembled his tripod, and raised his camera toward the horizon. The view was breathtaking. Click, click, click. He fired off a dozen frames, already imagining how they'd look after editing. But when he checked the playback screen, something was wrong. Leon frowned. Every single image was slashed by the same mark, a thin, blood-red streak cutting diagonally across the frame. He lowered the camera and looked at the ridge with his bare eyes. Nothing. Just rock. Just trees. Just sky. He raised the lens again. Click. He checked the screen. There it was. That same crimson line, vivid, deliberate, piercing through the image like a scar. This wasn't lens flare. This wasn't a reflection off his gear. The distortion originated from a fixed point deep in the brush, an area with no trails, no structures, no reason for anything to be there. And here's what made it stranger. Camera sensors can detect certain wavelengths of light that human eyes cannot, specifically infrared. Under specific conditions, a powerful infrared source will burn into a photo while remaining completely invisible to anyone standing right next to it. Leon didn't know exactly what that meant yet, but his gut told him one thing clearly. Something out there was hiding. Before Leon steps off the trail and into the unknown, do me a quick favor. If you're enjoying this story, hit the like button. It takes half a second and helps the channel more than you know. And if you're not subscribed yet, now's the time. We tell stories like this every week. All right, back to the mountain. Most people would have shrugged it off, packed up, gone home. Leon couldn't. That red line was a thread, and something deep in his chest demanded he pull it. Against the advice of every friend who had ever warned him about hiking alone, he stepped off the trail. The terrain resisted him immediately. Branches clawed at his jacket, roots grabbed at his boots. The undergrowth was thick and tangled, like the forest itself didn't want him going any further. He pushed through anyway, pausing every few minutes to check his camera. The red line was fading. As the sun climbed higher, the angle of the light shifted, and with it, the reflection. Whatever was casting that beam was only visible in a narrow window. If he didn't move fast, the trail would go cold. The deeper Leon went, the darker the forest became. The canopy had thickened into a ceiling of leaves, blocking out the sun. The temperature dropped. The birds stopped singing. It was that kind of silence that presses against your ears, the kind that makes you feel watched. He checked his phone. 1 bar. His instincts told him to turn around. His curiosity told him to keep moving. He compromised. He opened his Maps app, pinned his live location, and sent it to his best friend, a guy named Raj who always answered, even at 6 a.m. The message read, "Following something weird off trail. If I don't text by noon, send help." It felt dramatic at the time. It wouldn't feel dramatic for long. The red glow in his photos had dimmed to almost nothing, just a faint whisper in the corner of the frame. But it was enough. It led him to a wall of thick brush. He pushed through and froze. He wasn't in the wild anymore. Before him was a hidden clearing, man-made, deliberately concealed. In the center stood a rotting wooden cabin, its walls warped and gray with age. But parked in front of it? 2 gleaming SUVs, a heavy-duty flatbed truck. The vehicles were brand new, polished, completely out of place. Leon's stomach dropped. This wasn't a forgotten shelter.
This was a hideout.
Leon dropped into a crouch behind a thicket of ferns. His breathing slowed. His grip on the camera tightened. He wasn't here to take art anymore. He was gathering evidence. Using the telephoto lens like a scope, he scanned the clearing. The truck bed was covered by a heavy gray tarp. Something large was hidden beneath it. He couldn't tell what. Then, voices. 2 men exited the cabin. They weren't dressed like hikers. No packs, no gear, just dark jackets and hard expressions. They moved with purpose, scanning the tree line like they expected trouble. Leon held his breath. He could hear fragments of their conversation drifting through the still air. Have to move it tonight. Too much heat after the job. Buyers won't wait. Leon's blood ran cold. These weren't campers. These were criminals. Suddenly, a gust of wind swept through the clearing. It caught the edge of the loose tarp and ripped it back. Leon barely suppressed a gasp. Underneath wasn't drugs, wasn't weapons, wasn't cash. It was a sculpture. A massive crystalline structure, deep crimson, almost organic in shape, mounted in a custom steel frame. The morning sun struck its surface and fractured into 1,000 directions. One of those directions? Straight into the forest. Straight into Leon's lens. That was the beam. That was the infrared reflection his camera had picked up from miles away. And suddenly, Leon remembered something. 3 days ago, a news alert. A high-profile gallery heist. A priceless avant-garde installation, stolen without a trace. He was staring at it. The men noticed the tarp and rushed to fix it. Leon had seconds. He steadied his hands, framed the shot, and fired off a rapid burst. Click, 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 click. He got the sculpture. He got the truck. He got the plates. He got their faces. Then he moved. He didn't run. Running makes noise. He crept, agonizingly slow, retracing his steps like a ghost. Every snapping twig made his heart stop. Every rustle of leaves sounded like a siren. It took 20 minutes to reach a point where his phone showed 2 bars. He didn't text Raj this time. He dialed 911. Leon met the officers at the trailhead. He handed over his camera, showed them every image, gave them coordinates. Within the hour, a tactical unit had descended on the clearing. From a ridge a half-mile away, Leon watched through his lens as the cabin was surrounded. The SUVs were blocked. The men were pulled from the structure with their hands in the air. No shots fired. No one hurt. And the sculpture, the priceless, stolen masterpiece, was loaded into an armored transport and returned to its rightful home. Leon never expected to become a local hero. He was just a photographer chasing the light. But sometimes, the light chases back. His camera saw what his eyes couldn't, and because he trusted it, because he followed that strange, invisible thread, he helped close a case that had baffled investigators for days. It's a reminder. The world is full of things hidden in plain sight. We just need the right lens to see them. So here's my question for you. If your camera caught something your eyes couldn't explain, would you follow it? Or would you stay on the trail? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.